Is this on?
Yeah, it is.
Hello, everybody.
There seems to be less mics than people.
I don't have mic.
We should share.
You know what? Last year I had mic issues too. My mic didn't work, and this year I didn't even get a mic. I feel like this is a little personal. But you know what? I'm still here.
Woo!
So hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. This is definitely more people than I thought would. I don't know if these are what I was having drunk, so I'm just going to call myself one. But thank you for coming. Definitely didn't think anybody would, but welcome to the Less Than Famous panel. How is everybody?
Woo!
That's awesome. It sounds fantastic. You all look beautiful, as someone did say. Thank you for coming. Before we begin, I do have a few housekeeping things. I want to remind you that there is a hashtag that we will be checking questions from. Any questions that aren't answered during the panel, just because I did put some into a little bit of a list just this morning, just so I can have some. They can be answered online by any of us after the panel. I was also told that since we are the last panel in here, we kind of going to take some more time, so yes. If there is time for Q&A, please do use the hashtag. I will check. Also, please do be respectful. Please be respectful, kind, and spread nothing but positivity both to those on the panel and everyone around you, because everybody matters, and I want nothing but positive vibes in here. So before we begin, I just want these lovely people just to introduce themselves to you, because they all are fantastic, and there's no way for you to know anything more about them but from themselves.
Well, I just came very close to forgetting my whole entire name right now, but it's very lovely up on that board over there. So, I'm Lindsay Daly. My channel is basically a couple of different things. I make videos about food, about tech, and some kind of more general stories about my life. Did I cover everything, Chris?
Yeah, actually my question says, introduce you and what you do. Tell us anything important, like pronouns, your favorite creator, where you're from. So you pretty much covered anything.
Yes, I'm from Boston, Mass. I'll say that as an addition. Nice.
Hi, I'm Bella. My last name is pronounced Curcio, so kind of like the Harry Potter curse, but the R and the U are switched. My channel is like comedy, topic discussion. I work as a background actor in LA, and so that provides me with pretty constant stories to talk about on my channel. So that's pretty much what my channel is. I've been making videos for a little less than a year.
Hi, my name is Melanie Ahern. I'm from Maryland, and I do mainly like short films on my channel, like music videos, that sort of thing. That's it.
Hi, my name is Talia Porges. I make videos about my life and what stage I'm at. Right now I'm kind of talking about transitioning into adulthood and how weird that is. And I like making stupid vlogs with my friends when I can, so that's what I do.
Hey, I'm Courtney Revolution. I live here in LA. I'm a pop culture host on the channel Holly Scoop, so I talk a lot about like news and Kardashians and like Kylie Jenner breathing and stuff like that. On my channel, I talk a lot about like LGBT topics, music reactions. I react to music videos. I put out like little vlogs, like when I went and go see Taylor Swift, like I put together like a little vlog. She flew above me, it's a true story. And my favorite vloggers are, I would probably throw out Trey Melvin, Kingsley, Ricky Dillon, just to name a few. That's all.
Thank you, and I'm Chris Lawrence. I was on the panel last year. My channel, just like last year, is non-existent because consistency. And yeah, let's get things going. I'm going to jump right in. I do want to remind everyone, do be nice. No name dropping, no anything like that, because that's not what we're here to do. Within the past year in YouTube, we've seen a lot, from huge creators messing up big time to changes to the YouTube Partner Program, and very important topics such as LGBTQ content being age-restricted or demonetized. There are a lot of discouraging factors to being a creator. How do you keep yourself motivated with so much working against your content, essentially? Anybody can answer. We don't have to, we're not in kindergarten anymore. We don't got to do the line.
Sure, yeah, no, I'll answer this because I was kind of thinking about this. I am very close to having my channel officially monetized. And it's not, for me, it's more symbolic. It's not about really getting the AdSense check. I have a full-time job. I feel fulfilled by that. Obviously not in the same way that I feel fulfilled by YouTube, but it's still important to me to kind of hit that threshold in a symbolic sort of way. But obviously, you know, with what happened in, I believe, January, with, you know, all this, that's sort of demonetization sort of wave hitting everything, I sort of, you know, I didn't want that to be the focus, so I kind of, I was super discouraged, and I, you know, I put out like this long kind of thread of tweets. I was like, you know, like I'm writing scripts that are like 9 pages long, like I'm putting so much work into this, and like, you know, if this means that the algorithm is now going to favor just so less people see my videos, like that's disappointing to me. It's not about the dumb AdSense check. And like to that vein, like I'm so close to having like the monetization on my channel. Like I promised in the past video, I was like, you know, when I get that first AdSense check, I'm not taking it. I'm donating it to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention because I don't need that $100. And you know, if you know, I can give it to a cause that, you know, I feel is important, where it's you know, for me symbolic of saying, yeah, you demonetized me. When you've given me that monetization back, I'm going to kind of hopefully use it to make a statement to tell you guys, cool, I want to clean something up a little bit with the advent of like actually getting that monetization. I don't know, I wanted to put it to sort of a better use, because for me the goal is really symbolic. So yeah, you know, because I've felt this discouragement, and yeah, for me, you know, it really was like a just keep going moment. So I can't believe, you know, I'm this close, which is wild. So I don't know. Obviously this gave you a pretty, I feel like it gave all of us a pretty big, like, oh wow, nice. Definitely bolstered the confidence, so.
Well, it was like definitely symbolic for me. Listen, I have 325 subscribers, so like I'm truly one of the crowd here today. So yeah, it didn't hit me in any kind of, well, my life, you know, I don't base my income on it in any sense. My videos are just, it kind of gives me freedom to make whatever I want, because I don't rely on, oh, like this gets this many more views and then I can pay my rent. Like I don't have to worry about that yet. You know, knock on wood, but yeah, it definitely was kind of like a blow, because it's like smaller creators are important too, and there's a lot of animators on the platform. Like it's kind of a niche thing that like you're either into or not, but animations, as you know, take a long time to make, and so you kind of have shorter videos, and with this new kind of way of getting eligible to be monetized, it's harder for up-and-coming animators or anyone who makes short-form content. So it feels a little strange, and it just kind of, it can be kind of not so encouraging, but it does help to take a step away from it and just like make videos that you like and you have fun making, and just put in the work and have fun and don't worry about it.
Can you repeat the question for me?
Yeah, with so much working against creators just because of everything that's happened on YouTube, like really big YouTubers messing up and it kind of forcing YouTube to change policies that don't really affect them, and then basically getting slapped on the wrist. How does it keep you motivated to actually wanting to like be a creator and hopefully like get to a point where like your side hustle will become like your career?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know, I've kind of always been really lax on YouTube, even though I always have like weird anxiety when I like make videos. I'm like, oh, my entire life is resting on this one video, and it never is, and I'm never consistent, so it doesn't really matter. But I have now adopted it in the 4 years that I've been making videos. It's kind of just become a thing where I'm like, you know what, if I upload, I'm gonna do whatever I want, because nobody's really paying attention at this point. So we'll see when people start to pay attention how that will feel. But right now I'm not really concerned about making money on there, because the content that I make isn't really one that's like monetizable, and the output rate that I go at is not really monetarily valued. I don't think that was a right sentence. No, my content's actually like pretty, like, I can monetize it. I am monetized on YouTube, but the the rate that it takes to be successful on YouTube, you have to be very consistent. That's what everybody tells you. You have to be very consistent, be ad friendly. I am ad friendly, but I am not consistent, so I'm not really concerned.
I think there's also an aspect that's not monetary, which is like you have certain bigger name YouTubers who make the news, and someone at my workplace or someone who's not into the internet or YouTube will hear about them because of a scandal or something that disrespected an entire culture. Just like really bad things, and that's what makes the news. I'm interested in like a next generation of YouTubers who might present more of an outwardly positive image and show some kind of change for the better. And that's not to diss anyone in particular, really just like a general attitude of trying to, because people don't really know what we do, like it's kind of this niche thing to the outer world, and so it would be cool to have like an image of doing good, spreading positivity.
Yeah, I would say in terms of like being discouraged, like when the whole demonetization happened, I lost my monetization, and that kind of sucked. But I think at the end of the day, it's really about just loving what you're creating, because if YouTube wasn't around, I'd still be making the same videos that I'm making. And so if you're hung up on the numbers, the whole stuff with the demonetization, that probably really hurts you. But at the end of the day, like, I love making videos, and so I'm gonna make them nonetheless.
I also want to go ahead and like piggyback off of that and say that there was a huge outcry from, I felt specifically smaller creators about not making money on YouTube, and I feel like for me personally, it was a very unpopular opinion, which I felt uncomfortable even expressing, because in my opinion, from what I've seen, the smaller creator community is very competitive, and I feel like why not just focus on what makes you happy? You know what I mean? For me personally, money doesn't really make me happy. Talking about Ariana Grande's ponytail makes me happy. I mean, if I make a coin like every 3 months, like, cute, thanks Googs. But I mean, honestly, if you were joining YouTube specifically to make money and they just sort of like cut you off, then maybe you didn't join YouTube for the right reasons. Because girl, I joined it to be creative and talk about celebrities, not to get a check. At least for me personally. I've been on the platform for like 10 years now, like a whole decade, like a whole child. Like, it becomes a little bit uncomfortable to see like even people I know, like begging, like in tweets, like, Courtney, you have to talk about this, you have to defend us. Yes, I'm a smaller creator, but sisters, I just like to create. That's all.
Yeah, also I'd like to say, like, I think there was a certain entitlement that people felt, and it's like YouTube is a free platform, like it's kind of like a gift to us, so I agree, yeah.
Exactly, and that's something that I've always had an opinion on as a thing. I feel like YouTube kind of, I don't think YouTube markets it itself where like anyone can do anything. People just got this idea was like, you can go on YouTube and live any life that you want to, but then once it started getting a little bit out of hand and it was being placed beside the advertisers' content, the advertisers are kind of like, well, like we're getting a little bit too loose, and once those chains started getting rolled back, that's when people started to feel like, I'm entitled to make this money and be as provocative as I want, and have like Amazon still pay me for things. But I'm gonna keep moving on with questions. There was a question that did come online that was important that I did ask also in the first question, but did get skipped. And someone just wants to know what everybody's pronouns are. Mine personally are he, him, and we can just go down the line and everyone can just answer because someone wanted to know. If you're comfortable with that.
I'm he, him.
She, her.
She, her.
She, her. She, her.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope that helps the person who did ask. I'm going to move on to the next question. The next question also is a question from Twitter, and FemSun asks, what have your support systems been like on YouTube, and what are the best words of encouragement you've gotten since you started doing YouTube?
So that's my best friend, Sunshine. Sad, but he didn't know that.
I didn't.
That her question just got taken.
Hi, Sunshine.
I think she sent like a lot. To
She
support.
did.
I just wanted to mention that Sunshine.
That's her support right there. That's how you get supported.
Exactly.
Question answered. No, I don't know. I feel like for me, the biggest, like the thing that makes me the happiest of all is like comments I get on my channel. And like I said, you know, I don't focus, I guess, sometimes on like, you know, you can make a video that you kind of think sucked and it'll do like really well, and it's almost disappointing. You're like, oh, why did that one do so well? But, you know, like, there are videos where there's like almost no views, but I love it. I worked so hard on it, and there's like, you know, 1 or 2 comments underneath. It's like, wow, this is fantastic. Like how do you not have like a million subscribers? And I'm like, dang, thanks, I wish. But like, you know, so I think for me, it's definitely the comments from people I don't know in real life at all. I'm like, wow, like you care enough that you would even just like say like, oh wow, like I loved this. This was amazing. That to me means the very most of all, I think, personally. But.
What's interesting for me is that in my years of YouTube, when I make something and then somebody tells me it's good, I'm like, don't tell me that it's good. You're gassing me up, and I didn't think it was that good. I want to get better. So like when somebody gives me that instant gratification, I mean, this is the issue with social media in general. When somebody gives me that instant gratification, I'm like, okay, job done. Don't have to do anything else. But what really encourages me is when somebody tells me that they connected with what I said, that they felt understood by something that I said. And yeah, I mean, it's always nice to know that people enjoy your content. They're like, you're so funny, great outfits and stuff like that. But yeah, my goal is to help people feel recognized. So if I can do that, then that's like really encouraging, and that's what keeps me going.
Well, I have this group chat on Twitter. I'm a fan of these 2 British YouTubers who post occasionally, called Dan and Phil. And I formed this group chat with a bunch of, it's mostly like teenage girls. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, that's their fan base. And yeah, we've been in this group chat for like almost a year. And when I was posting videos that would get like 13, 14 views, like that would be them. And they'd be like commenting like, oh, I was like the mom of the friend group. But just like and I found that support group through YouTube, like through us being a fan of a similar YouTuber. And so my support, it comes from my friends in real life, but it comes a lot also from people I've met in the YouTube community. It's like this amazing thing that I was a part of as a kid, and I'm still a part of now. It's like a really huge part of what keeps me going.
Yeah, I mean, I've met a lot of friends through YouTube. I have a little crowd over here. So I have a lot of support. In terms of like comments, I think one of my favorite comments that I've ever gotten was somebody commented on one of my videos and they said something along the lines of, this video is so artistic, but I'm not a fan of it. And it was kind of like, I appreciated that they were able to see it from a broader perspective, but acknowledge that it wasn't for them, like it wasn't their style. And so I think that kind of comment and critiques are my favorite, because I really do appreciate people being able to give you feedback. Like comments like, oh, I love this, you're so amazing. They're really nice, and I appreciate that with my heart, but I also appreciate critiques a lot.
For me, I want to say my favorite kind of support, I have like 2 favorite kinds of support, so bear with me. Okay, so my first favorite kind of support comes from a viewer that has been around for a very long time. Because listen, long before you saw me up with this flower crown, with this good highlight on the VidCon stage, I was in a very small bedroom in Pennsylvania, Nicki Minaj adorning my background, and I was just making, I don't even know what I was making. I have like zebra print basketball shorts on and I'm like lip syncing, it's a disaster. But I love when like a viewer will comment on a new video where I'm like talking about like Ariana Grande is like running through the forest and we're living for it, the light is coming, the light's here. And they go, oh my God, I remember like 5 years ago, if you would have talked about this, the video would have been like this is so good. And I'm like, wow, you know what, I spent a lot of time on that, you know what I mean? My other favorite kind of support comes from my friends, and I'm gonna say friends like friends, like people I talk to every single day that don't really care that I do YouTube. Like they can even be other creators and they're doing their own thing and they may write in the group chat, oh my God, Courtney, I saw that video you did. Sister, you snapped. And it's like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, you watched maybe all the way to the end. The watch duration is important nowadays, so thanks, you know what I mean? I really appreciate when like another creator can appreciate the craziness that I do in my very small corner of the internet.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Especially other creators supporting creators, because like YouTube, as someone did mention, is so competitive, and I feel like there's sometimes a culture of people thinking like everyone's against each other, but like the internet's massive and everybody can make their money. I'm going to move on to the next question, and the next question is simply, what made you choose YouTube? Like, what was it about YouTube as a platform that made you realize, like, I need to upload to YouTube and I should have been uploading to Vine, rest in peace, or like, I should have been like a Musical.ly star, like any of those things. What was it about YouTube that had that appeal that you just realized was for you?
I'm old. YouTube was not around. I mean, Vine and all these other things were not around. The short answer is...
That's essentially what I was gonna say. Like when I was like 7 or 8, like we were watching YouTube. Like we were watching TV too, but I mean, if we wanted to watch very niche, weird stuff, then YouTube was it. We didn't have Vine or Musical.ly, so.
That's right. I think I asked that because I got into YouTube so late. Like I started watching YouTube, like I found out about like Connor Francis, like when he made his first book, and I was like, whoa, this is like a cool thing. And then I found out about like O2L and all those things, and I'm like, wait, they broke up? And it was like, yeah, like.
Wait,
like
that's
5
like
years
2013.
ago. Like so long ago. So maybe I'm just gonna stop aging myself, and I'm gonna because I'm the moderator and I can do what I want. Everyone on stage makes various different types of content, from music to social commentary to various different things. How long did it take for you to find your thing? Courtney, you said that you were once in your bedroom dancing in zebra shorts, and now you make social commentary and you work for like an actual company and work on their channel too. How long did it take you to like find that thing that you kind of felt like comfortable, like, yes, like this represents me and like who I am and like what I believe?
Okay, so, quick story time, Tana Mojo. Okay, so, on YouTube, when you start out as someone else, period. Doesn't matter who you are, you start out as someone else, you emulate that person that you love. And I did that for a while. And then I had people telling me that it was like okay to not be yourself, and then who you were was like not okay, and like, you're too much, you're too extra, you're too this, you're too that, too black, too gay, too whatever. So then, those people I eliminated off the island. And then when you have time to sort of like sit by yourself, when you kind of like feel like you don't have anyone else, it's kind of like when you find your voice, because who are you gonna talk to? So it was really just kind of like me, my camera, some lights, microphones dangling off, and don't get upset because this is before the drama. A Jake Paul video was on my homepage, and I said, you know what? I'm mad today. I think there's a wig that needs to be collected. And I made a reaction to it, and everyone was like, oh my God, this is actually kind of great. And then here's the Gabby Show with another music video, and I said, oh, why do I want to talk about her? And I'm always talking about people, and you know what? That doesn't always have to be a bad thing. So I turned my negative into a positive, and now I talk about celebrities, and I done secured that bag. Now who's upset?
Happy for you. Yeah. For me, I still don't think I've found my thing. I'm constantly evolving and trying to find a way to accurately represent all of who I am and what I do onto one channel, which I don't know. You look shook for a second, yeah.
I was just like, oh my God, I thought someone like fell off the stage or something.
I might. It's been a process. I mean, like Courtney says, I was not myself when I first started. I mean, I was trying to be Grace Helbig, like, big time. She was like my idol. And then, I mean, all of my videos were scripted, and I would put like sketches in there and stuff, and that was fun. The editing was really fun. And then that whole crab sticks thing happened, where he was like, it's all fake, and I'm like, yeah, it is all fake. I'm fake. So I kind of had like a wake up call, and I was like, damn, I am so tired of like putting forward like this mask of like perfection. It didn't even come off as perfection, but I tried. So yeah, I feel like now I'm just like focusing on content that makes me happy, and just whatever makes me happy is my brand. Watermelon, you know. See this watermelon?
I owe you my life for teaching me how to like find the perfect watermelon. You've literally like changed my
You're
life.
welcome. I've had people FaceTime me at the grocery store. No, legitimately.
I think for me, like in terms of finding your voice, it just took time. I think, like you two said, you kind of start out emulating other people that you really admire. And like one of my videos, I did an introductory about me, but it was like in the style of a Wes Anderson film. So that was cool, but I think it's really just a matter of time. Like you'll find your voice. I think there's a lot of people try to push too hard and like really find who they are, but it'll come with time, and you know, you'll discover who you are.
I want to add something real quick. Don't make videos that make other people happy. Like even if you like are good at making them and you know you can do them, it is going to get tired, I promise you, because I reviewed and reacted to albums for a couple of months and it sucked all the creativity and all of the life out of me. So if people are telling you that you're making good content and you still don't like it, change it. You gotta do what makes you happy, otherwise you have no longevity on YouTube.
Yes.
I guess I have a bit of a somewhat. I finally kind of found out what sort of the theme or voice of my channel is in general. I've been making videos for 2 years on YouTube, but like when I was little, like 12 years old, I started animating using like Flash, and I was like super inspired by websites like Newgrounds and like Albino Black Sheep, and like I started animating. Like that was like what I started doing, and they were like these dumb, really pun-filled animations. Like even my senior thesis animation in college was called Slothston Powers. Like I'm the worst human being on earth. But like
That's your first video, right?
actually, I think it is. I don't know if it's still on my channel. It might be. Is it? Oh my god, it's legendary. You should watch it. Yes, but yeah, so like, you know, I was doing stuff like that in college, and then kind of gradually moved to do more video stuff. And honestly, I hadn't even really picked up cameras that much until 2 years ago. I was really more of an editor, animator. That's what I studied. And you know, I again, like the truest thing, like Courtney was saying, like when you start out, you're not yourself on YouTube. You are trying to be somebody else so badly because that's all you know. You know, and figuring out how to really be yourself on camera is interesting and difficult at times. You know, like just little, I think for me, little parts of my personality in the video that I think kind of rethinking like, oh, I would normally cut that out, or doing something stupid that, you know, like I showed like a picture of me with like really bad pit stains and then dabbed over it, and like people thought it was hilarious for some reason. But you know, so stuff like that where it's like, this isn't the most graceful, amazing, face-tuned version of me, but people like that for some reason. So I just kind of kept adding those small bits of myself, like reading a book on memes in front of the camera, like stupid stuff. But I think generally there's two sides, which is being comfortable on camera and sort of injecting your own personality into it. And then secondly, or rather actually, that's probably the secondary aspect, but the primary aspect is figuring out what's my channel going to be about, what kind of audience am I attracting, what's the subject matter on, and I think right now I haven't even completely secured that. I've got a couple of weird different themes going on. I do tech stuff, food stuff, and you know, general sort of almost more vlog type stuff. Vlog is like a dirty word to me, by the way. I don't know why, it's just is. But yeah, I mean, it takes a while, and I only started focusing on YouTube proper until like 2 years ago. So I'd say it maybe took me about a year to kind of properly figure out, okay, this is the kind of content I want to make, these are the kind of things that I want to like make videos on. And a lot of that was like based on what I watch. Like, what do I watch? Like a ton of cooking people, like sorted food and like stuff like that I love. So kind of took a while because at first I was definitely trying to emulate people, but it didn't make sense because it's not me, it's not my life. But yeah, so took me a bit, but I think I'm getting there.
Well, I don't even think I have authority to answer this. if anyone's seen my channel, it's just like whatever I just really needed to do that week, like for myself. Just like to, like if someone were watching it, if they laughed, then I'm good. I'm keeping with my theme. That's it.
Sweet, perfect. So there's another question online that I really think would be cool to answer, because I think it's an important thing when it comes to YouTube, and you know what? I'm down to help someone start a channel. The question is, how do you pick a good username, and how did you get your usernames? Personally, mine, I was just born and my parents named me 2 weeks after, and then I had a YouTube channel.
That's the IRL username.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes use your name. It works sometimes, other times it sucks, because there's also a lot of Christopher Lawrences in the world, so I have a lot of email problems. How do you think you can pick a good username so that later on in the world you're not in like a career force and your username on your business card is like Bad Girl Barbie 15?
I'm literally so mad right now. You just triggered me because I had to remember what my username actually is. So it's like, it's Blossom Bun. Like, I thought that was really cute. I was like 16, like what? I could have used my actual name, but I was like, you know what? When I'm older and I'm like super famous, I'm gonna use my actual name. So right now I'm just gonna use like, a cute name. So it's Blossom Bun. And this was the time that Grace Helbig went from Daily Grace to It's Grace. So I thought It's was gonna, be it. And it's not. I just use my real name now.
I just remembered what the name of my channel was before I changed it to like my name. And also, by the way, like it went like, because at the time it's weird because I literally only considered like doing YouTube, like made the channel art, like didn't make any videos. I wanted to do gaming. So the name of it was The Girl Loves Games. And that stupid URL, the custom URL, will not go away ever. I changed it. I did, and it still autocorrects to it sometimes. Like if I type my name in, it still goes back to the original. I'm like,
it just gives you that
oh,
memory.
I really can't shake this old ghost, can I?
Yeah, mine's my name.
The smart ones.
Yeah, I feel like I can't speak on this. That's just my channel name. My name.
Contrary to popular belief, Revolution is not my last name. Yes! Basically, in the 8th grade, I was gay, the only gay in my entire school. So, I was like the gay kid that like came out and was like refusing to be bullied, and I watched a lot of Flavor of Love, and I appreciated New York a lot longer than everyone else on the internet. And so I like stole that persona, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna curse everyone out. And so I changed my school. Like they were like, you know what, we need to protect this young child. And so I helped start like our first school district GSA, and I was like, you know what, that was a revolution. And then I went on MySpace and I said, I'm Courtney Revolution. And everyone said, and I was like, still Courtney Revolution. And here we are. Oh, but like just choose a good name that like you wouldn't be like embarrassed by. Like think about it.
I think, sorry, I'd like to give more practical, I think, it's just like our own, like, figure out what you want your channel to be. If it's gonna be like, oh, I only am gonna focus on like recipes, like maybe you could name it something sort of more, like, basically it's, people name their channels either after themselves or they name it like a brand, essentially. If you are your brand, you name your channel after you. If your brand is gonna be like a specific series or type of content you're doing, then, go for some sort of name that's relatable to that.
Yeah, I would say I would agree to a certain point, but you can change your content, you can't change your name. So I would say if you're really unsure, just go with your name, put up whatever content you want, and then you can change that.
Very true, you cannot change your name. It will haunt you forever.
Yeah, but seriously, I'm gonna be It's Blossom Bum on YouTube forever.
So I'm going to move on to another question. I hope that answered anyone's question. I don't know who it was in the audience. I'm sorry, I didn't look at the name. But the next question actually comes from Jacob Alpern, and he asks, how much planning goes into your videos? Do you script your videos or just dive right in and start recording?
I script the heck out of my videos. I'm making a video like right now, and it's driving me nuts because it's about this panel and I couldn't write the script ahead of time because the panel hadn't happened yet. So yeah, no, I script like crazy. And it totally depends on the type of content you do, but like some of the stuff that I do, I will write shot lists. And actually, you don't need to do anything super fancy, but for instance, I open up a Google Doc, I literally just type out like what I want to say. The words that I'm gonna be saying on screen are in black. I type out my shot list, it's super unofficial. The shots I'll put in parentheses and highlight red for camera, red for like visual, green for audio, blue for graphic. Super like kind of dumb, simple, but like I script the heck out of everything, and you know, because I like to get every shot that I know I'm gonna want. Because if I miss a shot and there's a certain event, I'll never be able to go back and get that, recreate this event or recreate that shot. So I really try to plan everything down to the absolute T. But again, then there are certain videos like, I can't do that. It's a video based on real life, and the real life part hasn't happened yet, so I can't go ahead and speculate on that until it actually occurs. But no, I mean, I definitely script a lot, so that's certainly something that has helped me, and I've definitely gotten better at over time, and certainly gotten better at figuring out what shots I really need and when I don't have to waste time filming other things, that I might not end up using anyhow.
So, like for example, if I am making a video about my day on last Thursday, on Thursday, I will know like, okay, that was like the crappiest day, and so much happened.
You can say it.
And I need to like express this. So I'll sit down that day and I'll make bullet points of the things that happened that piss me off. And so it's kind of like my diary is my shot list for the video. It's like my bullet points for the video. I will take my diary out, like this book that goes everywhere with me, and I will just go off. Like I'll just read that point, and if it means enough to me, I won't need a script. And yeah, I don't script things word for word. I tried to do that once, and like I was sweating, like I was just like nervous. I was trying to like remember my lines, and I was like, nah, this is like the play in high school, it's not for me. So yeah, to each their own, but I just use bullet points.
Sorry, just to jump into that point of like scripting to the exact word. I definitely tried to do that when I started. Don't do that, you sound like a robot. Because sometimes you'll write something, and then when you're talking and out loud and saying it, you realize just how weird it sounds, like, to say in your mouth. I don't know. So, I will literally be on camera, like, saying it, and, like, I, like, stutter or something. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I literally sit on the script with my laptop, erase it, retype it, and then say the line again the way I, like, think sounds better. And I think as I've done more on camera speaking, I've definitely gotten better at sort of reading what I've gotten for the script, but then, I might be able to sort of take the idea from it more efficiently and just record that way and have it be more natural than just reading exactly what I want word for word. As much of a control freak as I am, and as much as I do wish I could hit every single word correctly, but I can't.
Yeah, I make short films, so everything is scripted.
Yeah, scripts make me really nervous. I get really sweaty also. Like when I first started making videos on YouTube, and I had like, what is it called? Acting parts, skits. When I used to have like skits in my videos, I used to script it. And even for like my vlogs for a little bit, I was worried that I wasn't going to remember everything I wanted to say, so I would script it. And it would make me so nervous because I'm like, oh, I have to be perfect. I have to deliver this line perfectly. And then it makes me really aware that somebody's actually going to watch this video. So now instead, I prefer to pretend like I'm having a conversation with somebody, or like I'm leaving a voicemail for somebody. So that really helps because I acknowledge that I'm just talking. So.
For me, I would say back in the day, like before I moved to like LA and I was in Pennsylvania sweating in this bedroom, I certainly was not scripting anything. I was running in front of this camera and screaming, and the kids loved it. But now I'm a little bit older, I'm a little bit more organized, I strategize, I execute. So like if it's like a news story, I'll bullet point, little things. Because, I don't want to mess things up. The stands get upset. These Arianators will come for my wig. Say the wrong album title, the wrong song, or mess up a lyric. So, main points, definitely script. A lot of my content is just pure on passion. I keep all of my weird phrases stored up in my brain, and you just never know when they're gonna fly out at you. So my process is for me to sometimes have a process, and for sometimes you gotta wing it, girl, and just get it together in editing and post, as the professionals call it.
The way Courtney speaks is like every moment is like a YouTube hit. Like he's so funny. Like he's so confident and funny. It's like, to me, it would seem like he'd have a really easy time just like speaking naturally.
Cut to me on the floor in my bedroom shrieking because my camera microphone wasn't recording.
I laugh so I don't cry.
Technology. If your microphone's not working, you can actually buy a microphone in the expo hall. Plug. Word is here, and they have a new microphone this year. So I got my yellow badge. They didn't be giving us microphones at this point. All right, I'm going to move on to another question that actually did come from the audience. From Anna Cat Meow asks, how do you collaborate with other small creators that have a similar style? And is that person here? I heard a woo. Hello, thank you for your question. Thank you, we received it. How do you collaborate with smaller creators that have a similar style, friends?
I don't.
This is a hard question. It depends where you live. If you live somewhere where you're Courtney, you're in Pennsylvania, and it's not like you had ample opportunities to collab with other people out in Pennsylvania.
Listen, if I were in Pennsylvania still living there, I might not even be on this panel because I'd be running around VidCon trying to film whatever collab I'm trying to finish because I don't see nobody paying money.
So I live in Boston. It's not it's definitely, obviously in the metropolitan area we've got some film stuff going on, but it's not like living in LA where obviously, all these larger creators and YouTubers are able to collab super easily. They have access to the YouTube spaces, which is, again, a huge thing. But for me, I think, personally, the hardest thing is finding somebody who does actually fit your channel. Because I think I've had some people be like, oh, we should collab. And I'm like, I'm down, but I just need to know, what your idea is. Because personally, I very much want to have every video have kind of a point on my channel. So I think very hard about what the type of content it is. So for me, a collab, it would have to be something where I would really be like, oh yes, this person would be perfect. But I haven't found anyone like that who is local to me. So I think if anything, I suppose VidCon would be the best chance to collab with other people. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really touched upon any other people in my area that have sort of similar style, or at least are on YouTube at least.
Well, there's a lot of YouTubers in LA, and most of them are big YouTube. There's a lot of lots of the YouTubers I watch that actually live in LA are beyond me for now, and a lot of the smaller YouTubers that I watch are in random states or countries, and I'm it's so hard. I would love to collaborate with Emma Chamberlain, I would love to collaborate, but a lot of the people near me are, it's kind of a weird anti-problem, but yeah, I'd love to collaborate with any of you guys.
Oh.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna be extra. For me, y'all saw how to think about it, right? Y'all saw I was about to be messy.
Yes. Make any promises you can't keep, Courtney.
Okay. For me personally, and this is my own weird Courtney thing, collabs for me are really special because I don't like to share people with my audience unless I know for a fact that they're gonna be in my life for a substantial amount of time. That's my thing now, because I hate the question of, oh my God, Throwback Thursday, remember this collab? Are you still friends with them? Here's an answer, no. So for me personally, unless we're close or I really am just feeling your vibe and I have a really good idea, don't let this fool you. Like, outside of this, like, in LA, like, y'all won't see me. Like, y'all see the vloggers, like, collab and stuff, but, like, everyone is, like, not everyone, let me not speak for everyone, I'm not trying to get dragged. What you would come to find are that a lot of people are caught up in their own agenda, which is fine, because the bag needs to stay secured or else you cannot stay in LA. And I would say also people in LA also, in my experience, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them don't want to risk their numbers for smaller creators, which is totally fine. That's like so your brand. But for me personally, I would have someone on my channel that had no subscribers if they was like my homegirl. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, oh girl, we gonna get you started, girl. Come on up in this living room. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I've come to like find and learn that not everyone is as open, or I have come to learn that people will be your friend just in case. And you really don't want a just in case friend. You know, that friend that is gonna like, can I swear real quick, just this one?
Depending on the words, I just noticed that there are children in the audience.
You don't want people that are gonna be up your bum in hopes that you will go viral tomorrow, and then here's that collab, I'm coming up, you're coming up, you're coming up. I've got about like maybe like 3 good friends on YouTube that like I really like I'm in a group chat, I talk to them every single day, like what do you think about this title, da da da. These are people I trust. In a situation like this, or like playlist, I love a high and by, I love a selfie, but high and by and selfie does not mean that you're gonna be my friend. That's a big creator. You're not gonna come to my house and collab. You're not going to take anything from me because I'm 26, I'm an adult, and I'm just a little bit smarter than that. So, my advice to people that want to collaborate just in general is just to trust the people that you work with and let it be authentic. I love to watch collabs of like friendships. Like, oh my God, I live for it. Like, personally, Ricky Dillon and James Charles, I love watching them interact together. It's fun, sit down and talk for 20 minutes, I got time. But you know when it's like a business deal, like, hi, my manager's off camera, and we're BFFs and we're doing makeup. That's not content to me, in my opinion. I don't enjoy it as much. So, I support authenticity.
They actually have to fit you. And if you are going to approach someone about collaborating, you know, you have to bring an idea to the table with you, and something that, you know, the person will get excited about. You can't just say, hey, let's collab, because that means nothing. Collab on what? You know, are we just gonna sit in front of a camera? Because that's not the kind of videos that I make, and, you know, like, I don't know this person at all. So, like, I think that if you're looking to collab, absolutely have to bring something to the table, something that's gonna, like, motivate the person to want to work with you. But in terms of finding people who are similar to you and around your area, I think that's the tricky part if you're not in a major metropolitan area, or especially in like somewhere like LA. But that's pretty much all I have to say on the subject.
Go for it.
Well, I kind of wanted to ask Melanie if you've ever tried to collab with somebody, because I know for people who make like super artsy videos, it's like people who be really protective of like their vision. And I am that way with my music, so it's like when somebody wants to collaborate with me, I'm like, I barely have it down. Like, I have to trust you now at the same time. It's
that actually makes me think sometimes the best collabs are not two people who both make videos, but someone who makes videos and someone who makes just music, you know, or someone who makes just art, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to share your art with people and like trust them with that, so maybe that's why I haven't done it. I don't know how I would go about finding, I guess if I stumbled upon someone who I really love what they did, I would reach out to them, but I have not yet.
I think I would encourage people to collaborate outside of the YouTube platform. Like, for example, like, I'm sure everyone like knows who Casey Neistat is. Like, Dan Mace, like his friend, his assistant, basic general cameraman, he made this video where he collaborated with a musician to mix sounds of the city into like a song. You know, and so this person they're not another YouTuber, but it's a collaboration. You know, it works out for both of them in their respective careers and stuff. So I think I also would just suggest even looking further than just YouTube. Collaborate doesn't have to be mean between two YouTubers.
Good point.
Perfect, thank you. I have to be that person and be like, we do have 10 minutes left. I wanted to keep things going, but then I did remember that YouTube On Stage is later tonight, and I know that there are people that are probably wanting to go to that, but if anyone does want to like keep the conversation going, I think that should be okay. So I'm going to go to my last two questions, and these more so are for anyone in the audience, because you heard us talk for basically an hour about what we do or anything like that, so now I kind of want to make sure that you actually do leave with something that will hopefully benefit you from now until the next VidCon or like anything else, and hopefully get you started. So if you do have any advice for anyone in the audience who's thinking of starting a channel but just can't get to that point of like hitting upload and actually like dragging that video and like uploading that thumbnail and doing all of the steps that it takes to actually do that, what would you have wanted to hear? What would you have wanted to hear? Wow, English major. When you were starting YouTube. Oh my goodness! I promise I can speak and do things. But what is the thing that you need to hear from somebody? Personally, I know that I would have needed to hear someone say, just do it, because had I actually done it when I wanted to, I would have been, maybe not actually, because I would have been like 12 and I probably would have been on there acting real reckless. But honestly, like everyone kind of said, be yourself. I think I needed to hear it because I was trying to like focus on things that realistically I didn't care much about, but I was like, but you know what? Talking about Carter Reynolds is gonna get me clicks, and it did, but like it really also got me a lot of trolls. What is something you would give to someone in the audience?
Well, like the last panel before this was like the in this room was the BuzzFeed Worth It panel, and I love those guys. But Andrew was saying, like, he gave some advice about like get super obsessed with something, and that will be what your video is about. Just like, what are you thinking about this today or this week, and just like talk about that or create something around that. That's what got me started. It's just like the first video, kept going after that.
I would say just start. Like, it can be really scary uploading for the first time, so you just have to do it. And I think experimentation is also really important, because your first video is not going to be what your channel is going to be forever. So I think you just kind of got to try a million different things and find what you're good at.
Yeah, anyone else?
I think the one thing that I wish I just kind of said to myself, or I wish I just kind of kicked myself and said, like, just do it as soon, just if you're thinking about it, do it as soon as possible. Like, because for me, you know, it's only been 2 years, but like, the first video, not this less than an hour, trying to get sold. But like, the first like video was like a vlog, because I was like, all right, like I'm just gonna get used to using cameras and stuff. So like, it's like so bad, like I hate that video. But then like I look at the video I made like last week and I'm like, oh my god, like the improvement to me is, I think for me, like the biggest reward to be like, wow, in 2 years, like I can like bang out a video of this quality in this amount of time, whereas it took me forever to make this like crappy thing that was like, you know, my first ever video basically. So for me, it's like, start right away, because the sooner you start, the sooner you'll see the reward of how much you improve. And it also always depends on how often you're doing it. But for me, I tried to keep it really consistent and force myself to upload as often as possible, while hopefully still having videos of some substance. I don't know.
Yeah, I really like that advice of like, once you have the idea, just do it as fast as possible. Otherwise, you will overthink what you're doing. At least I have done that. And also another piece of advice is, don't worry about like your equipment so much. Like you can make videos on your phone. I mean, that's what I do if my camera has run out of space or something like that, or if I'm out and about, I can just film with my phone. It's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay, so, I live for this mess called YouTube. As weird and strange at VidCon as that may sound, it doesn't sound strange. And 10 years ago, if you would have walked into my guest bedroom of my house in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, and said, hey, Pimply Courtney, in 10 years, this really cool convention is gonna let you sit on a stage and talk to people, I might not have believed you. But I think that starting is the start. My literal first video on my YouTube channel, feel free to judge, is an audition video for Paris Hilton's my new BFF, which is a reality show to compete to become Paris Hilton's best friend. And I swore I was gonna be on it, and I mean, it's fine. But from then on, I've really enjoyed capturing memories. And not to get morbid, but I had a friend pass away recently, and how amazing and how much of an asset I felt when all of my friends who used to be so irritated by gay-ass Courtney running around with the camera 10 years ago, all through high school, who had the videos, who had the memories, who had the stuff that you were looking for, who keeps memories alive, the creators, the vloggers. So be that asset, that light in someone's life. You never really know who you're helping by putting up whatever. Like literally, I scream in my bedroom at my laptop at music videos sometimes. I'm like, I'll get a tweet that's like, oh my God, I had an anxiety attack, but I laughed at your dumbass, like laughing at Ariana Grande and it made my whole day. Like, I live for that. Like, you know what I mean? And like, people can judge your content and people can say whatever they want, but like, their opinion doesn't matter as long as you're doing something positive with it. So, just do it.
I have to say something, because we're almost out of time. It's just very quick. But when I was in middle school, I think I was like 12, VidCon was like everything I ever wanted to go to. It was like bigger deal than Comic-Con. And me and my friend Sunshine that I mentioned earlier were like, yeah, we were both like, we would die to go. And this was like Shane Dawson, Charlie's So Cool, like that whole time. Our classmate named Nathan Bison is his name, just for the record, went on Photoshop and made fake VidCon tickets and came up to us in class the next day and was like, so I have these VidCon tickets and my family's gonna take you and we're going. And we were so excited the whole day. And then he said, actually they're fake, this was a prank. And so I was just so devastated. I was like, I'm never going. And so I'd just like to say that now I'm here, I made it, and I'm talking on a panel. Nathan Bison is his name.
Take that, Nathan. Perfect.
Sorry, Nathan.
Sorry, and my last question, because I am just such a good giver person, and oh, that was wrong. Oh my. Just shout out a creator that you watch and things like that. Someone who's less than 10,000 subscribers, someone who is still a small creator, but someone else who you believe deserves to also have some shine and be seen.
I'll go ahead. I really recently discovered this guy named Matt Mort. He's got some great stuff, and he made this video where he has his dad set him up on a date. It's really good, and he's pretty fantastic. He's from Canada. And he actually is here at VidCon. I told him to come, but he's going to YouTube on stage. So I said, go enjoy that, please. Like, don't stress yourself. But yeah, he's great. So you should check him out. And he's got a lot of fun stuff.
I'd like to recommend a guy called Thomas Armando. And I don't know how to describe his videos. I just need you to watch. I really need you to watch them. They're like very short. He'll be like very angry and sassy about something for like a minute and then leave. And it's great. Thomas Armando.
I'm gonna shout out Chris Howard. He does daily vlogs. I'm sitting right over there. And for the fact that he does daily vlogs, they're super incredibly high quality. So you should go watch him.
Thank you.
Shout out to people. So you know, my good friend Nicholas Seven, who's also sitting in the audience. Even though they haven't uploaded in a while, you know, there's great things coming. I feel like in the future, in the general amount of time, who knows? But incredibly talented, visionary. So Nicholas Evan, one. And second is my friend Larry Simiyu, who is another Sacramento vlogger, and I feel like that's rare in Sacramento. He's literally the only other vlogger that I know in my city. So Larry Simiyu, shouts out to that guy.
Can I copy you? Or can I do two?
Can I do two?
Okay.
You can do three, but please don't, because we're running out of time.
Don't be mad, VidCon. Bring me back next year. Okay. So of course, I really want to shout out a really good friend of mine. Her name is Felicia, and that's not with an F, that's with a P-H-Y-L-E-S-H-A style, one word, Felicia Style. I met her at an event, like something similar to this, we're going up on a panel, and like ever since then, like it doesn't matter like what's going on in my life, she is just there, like unconditionally, like with a hug, with a cat picture, with a picture of Liam Payne in my inbox. Like she is like warmth, like you know what I mean? She gives you like good best friend feels in her content. It just is like whether she's talking about Bath and Body Works candles or bath bomb, or like she's reacting to Taylor Swift music videos, like you will feel like you are somewhere in South Carolina with her. Another vlogger I want to shout out, he is probably one of the hardest working people I know because I've worked that hard, and his name is Howard Reese. And yes, come on researchers. I love Howard Reese because he is a true talent. I got to know him working with this brand called Research, and those are my homies over there, my beauty baddies, hey y'all. And I had him come to my house, and that week that we spent together creating content, watching his thought process, watching his personality, Howard is the kind of person that just walks into a room and it's just like, bam, the shiniest diamond, you know what I'm saying? He's great, and I feel like he's one of those creators, you watch a video and you go, what is going on? Like, why doesn't he have like 300K? Like, where is the talk show? Like, get Mark Walters to sign some papers. So, Felicia Style with a PHY, and Howard Reese of the HR Show Experience.
Perfect.
Woo!
Thank you. And on the last note, I'm also going to shout out a creator. I'm going to shout out my girlfriend Amanda. Not because she's my girlfriend, but because she is probably the only person I know who works harder than me. And I didn't think that was possible because I was literally up perfecting this panel at 6 in the morning this morning because I just didn't think it'd be perfect. And well, we made it. So it's Amanda Wan on everything. Thank you for coming to this panel. I hope that it was amazing for everyone. I hope that everyone leaves with something inspirational. Don't let this stop here. Feel free to answer the questions online as well, because they're not just to us or the panelists, but they're to every small creator out there. So please answer them, have fun. If you see us places, be nice and say hello. And I hope you have a good rest of your VidCon, everybody.
Woo!
Yeah, where can people find you? Oh my goodness.
Well, where I talk the most is Twitter, and you can find me there at Court Revolution, and on Instagram and everywhere else as Courtney Revolution. Twitter, the character on it.
I'm at Talia Portress everywhere. Sometimes I take breaks from the internet, but when I come back, you know, it's lit.
On Instagram, I'm Melanie Ann Ahern, but on Twitter, it's N-N-E-L-A, not E, because the two N's are supposed to look like an M, so Melanie.
You can go to my YouTube channel, it's my name that's up there. And my Twitter name is Bella Solfe, it's kind of hard to spell, but go to my YouTube if you want to find my other links.
Yeah, same. I mean, YouTube is pretty much my name up there. Honestly, if you want to just search it in the YouTube bar, it comes up with my picture, I think, so like the same one that's over there, which is convenient. And then my like handles for stuff is like my name, Lindsay, and then E, my middle initial, because the name Lindsay Daly is too common. Lindsay E Daly. So I'm like everything, Twitter, whatever. Twitter is where I make the stupidest jokes. So.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You can find me also at Chris Lawrence and everything. 2 A's in my last name because Chris Lawrence is very common and there's so many people. But yeah, you can follow me. I talk the most on Twitter, and my 4 a.m. tweets are pretty great. So definitely give me a follow.
Can confirm.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Woo!